Hey guys, my name is Maysam and in this video we are going to set up our environment. We are going to download and install Java Development Kit. We are going to download and install Android Studio, and also we will create an Android virtual device. If you have installed Android Studio and it's working fine, you can skip this video, but if not, just follow along with me. It's a simple process. The first thing that I'm going to download is Java Development Kit, or some might call it JDK. You can find that by typing Java Development Kit or Java JDK download. The first link from the Oracle website is probably our needed link. Just click on it and it will navigate you to Oracle webpage. In here, you should accept to the license agreement, and depending on your version of system, you can download the related file, the x86 or x64 file. My system is x64, but if you are not sure about yours, you can right click on my computer by clicking on properties. In here, in this system type, you can see your version of system. It should be 64-bit or maybe x86. Okay, after finding that, just go to Oracle webpage and download the related file. You need to create an account in Oracle webpage. It's a simple process and they don't charge you anything. After creating an account, you can use your username and password to sign in the Oracle webpage. I already have an account, so I'm going to click on this sign in, and download should be start for me. I'm going to skip the video in here until the download is finished. After downloading is finished, just click on your JDK. It should be a simple process. Just click on next and wait for the installer. Next. Click on next once again. After the download is finished, just click on close. You can check that if Java Development Kit has been successfully installed on your system or not. You can do so by going to your start menu and type command prompt. In here you can type java-version. By pressing enter, you can see your version of Java. It needs to be 1.8 or higher. Okay, seems like my version is installed successfully. The next thing that I need to download and install is Android Studio. You can get Android Studio from Android Developers official website at developer.android.com. We will be coming back to this website a lot. Go to this Android Studio tab. Android Studio is completely free and you don't need to pay anything in order to be a developer. Click on download. You need to agree to the terms. Click on download and your download should be started. I will skip the video once again until the download is completed. After the download is finished, just click on Android Studio. It's also a simple installation process. You might want to check this Android virtual device. If it's not checked already, you need to define a path for your files. Notice that it can be up to 20 gigabytes when you install different SDK and different emulators. So select the path that you are sure you have that much space. Click on next and install. After the installation is completed, just click on next and finish. Wait for Android Studio to run. In the installation process, you might want to set some preferences like some theme for your Android Studio. I have installed Android Studio previously on my system, so I have skipped those steps. Just if you see something like install Android SDK, uncheck it. We are going to do that in here. Click on this configure on SDK manager, and in here you can see different SDK. SDK stands for Software Development Kit. As you can see, I have installed some of them already on my system. And these shouldn't be checked for you. We are going to install them here right now. Click on this Show Package Details to see the details about every SDK. By the time I'm recording this video, the latest version of Android is this Android 9 or API level 28. Your version might be different. This Android Q is also in preview phases. We don't want to work with that because that can be buggy. For now, I'm going to work with the latest version, this Android 9. You don't want to install all of these because these can be resource consuming and they can take a lot of spaces. You just want to download this Android SDK platform, make sure to check that. And also you might want to install one of these two versions of Atom depending on your system. Mine is 64, so I'm going to check that. Also, if you want to use Google APIs like Google Map and YouTube that I mentioned at the previous video on the content videos, you probably would want to install this Google API as well. Mine is not updated, so I'm going to check that now. You can also install multiple API versions. For example, if you take a look at here, I have installed API level 27 as well. That's not necessary, and Android Studio just need one SDK level to run. But if you have resources like some hard drive to spare, you can download different versions of API. Basically, these API levels means that on what version of Android are you going to install or run your applications. If you have the resources, I suggest that you install API level 28. Beside that, API level 26 and also 21 and 19, because those levels are the versions that Google has changed some of the Android functionalities. We will see exactly what I mean by functionalities, but if you want to check your application on different versions of Android, just download and install different versions of API. After you have checked different versions that you want, just click on Apply. Make sure to have an internet connection. It will pop up dialog to you that how much space it's going to take, how much the file size is. After that, just click on OK and download will be started. After the download and install is finished, just click on this finish and let's see what else do we have in here. Go to this second tab, SDK Tools, and show your package details. From here, you need to install the latest SDK build tool version. These RC ones are in beta phases yet, so I'm not going to download and install them. By the time 28.0.3 is the latest version, check that. And also down in here, you need to install Android emulator. I need to update my version. Also SDK platform tools. The next thing that I suggest you download and install is this documentation for Android SDK. It's not necessary, but you will see how it can help us to get around different errors and different bugs. So if you have the resources, check and download that. Also, this Google Play services, once again for services like YouTube and Google Maps. And I strongly suggest check this one, this Axum installer. It will accelerate the speed of your emulator, so check that as well. Down in here, inside the support repositories, make sure to check this constraint layout for Android, the latest version 1.0.2, and also solver for constraint layout. We will see what constraint layout is in UI session. For now, just check these two. They should have the same version. Also, you need to check this Android support repository and Google repository. These two are necessary. After checking everything, click on Apply once again, the download size, and your download will be started. Once again, when the download and installation process is finished, just click on Finish, and you are good to go. After all of these, you might change some of the preferences from here. For example, from this appearance, you can change the theme of your Android Studio. This Dracula is the dark theme. I'm going to stay with the light theme because it's good for recording purposes. And also you can change different things. For example, if you want to increase the font size of the windows. Okay, I'm not going to change anything in here, but feel free to change them if you want. Also from this update panel in here, make sure to change this one to a stable channel. We only want to check updates from a stable channel, not a beta or maybe developer channel. Just click on stable channel and click on OK. Okay, now that we have installed Android Studio and the SDK for Android Studio, it's time to install an Android Virtual Device, or AVD as some might call it. Click on this Configure an AVD Manager. In here, as you can see, I have already installed some devices, but for you it should be empty. Click on this Create Virtual Device and you can select the device to install. Also, if you want, you can create your own hardware from here by clicking on this New Hardware profile. You can name your device, also the screen size, maybe the amount of RAM that your device has, and also everything else like accelerometer, GPS, and everything that you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to install one of these predefined emulators, so let's do that. I have Pixel 2 and Pixel installed, so let's select this Pixel 3. Select the device that you want and click on Next. In here, you can define an API version for your device. I'm going to stay with API level 28, but you can change it however you want. But for different versions, you need to download the API first. I'm going to stay with 28. If it's not available, just click on download. If you can't see it from here, click on this refresh, or maybe go to the second tab or third tab. You should find that. That's not that hard. Okay, after selecting the right API version, click on next. In here, you can customize your device. For example, you can name it. You can select the default orientation for your device. For example, landscape or portrait. I'm going to stay with portrait. Also, by clicking on this Show Advanced setting, you can change some other features of your device as well. For example, you can increase the RAM size and everything else, the SD card. I'm not going to change any of those. Just click on Finish and your device should be ready. If you don't have the API, the download and installation once again will be started. For me, because I already had API level 28, it's not going to download anything. After you have downloaded and installed the device, the emulator that you want, close this window and you are good to create your first project. Okay, I think that's enough for this video. In the next video, we will create our own first application. See you in the next video.